Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's 9 o'clock here in Denmark, in Copenhagen, Denmark, and Matt is from Aalborg. Welcome to this morning's webinar. I'm so happy to see so many of you joining us this morning. My name is Christina. I am the marketing manager here at Travel Operations. I will be hosting this webinar this morning. With me, I have my colleague Matt.
Hello, nice to meet you all. My name is Matt, and I am part of the CRM team at Travel Operation and helping all our corporate clients getting on board the CRM system.
Perfect. I am just trying to share my screen, and I hope I succeeded in sharing the right one. So Matt, do you see the right presentation on the screen?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Glad to hear that. So again, welcome. So our hope for today is that you will leave this webinar with new inspiration for how you can excite and connect with your customers and how you can work strategically with customer retention. That is the focus of today. Before we dive into what you're here for, let's answer a few of the often asked questions before we get started. You can ask questions. You can use the Q&A. It's available. We will do our best to answer the questions during the webinar, but we only have 30 minutes. So if we don't get around to it, we will send you a personal reply afterwards. You're also welcome to reply to the emails you've received. Then we will also make sure you get a reply. You are muted and your cameras are off. Let's keep it that way. That will give the best experience to all of us. The webinar is recorded and will be sent to you afterwards as well. You're also welcome to share it with your colleagues if you feel like it. And finally, yes, you will receive a PDF after the webinar with the 9 ideas, so you can kind of take them and see if that's something you can implement in your organization. I know that some of you know us already. We're happy to see existing customers here, but most of you don't. So let me just give you the briefest possible introduction to Travel Operations. We are a travel technology provider. We have offices in Denmark, Sweden, Australia, the US, and India, with plus 80 employees covering the globe. We focus solely on delivering modern cloud-based CRM and European mid and back office solutions for the travel industry. That is all we do. We are a dedicated Microsoft partner, so all our solutions are built on Microsoft. Also, we are proud to say that we have happy customers all over the world, from Europe to Australia to North America and everywhere in between. With that little introduction, let's get to it. So first thing I'd like to ask a question. You don't necessarily need to answer it, but what is better than winning a new customer? The right answer is not 2 or 3. It is retaining the customers you already have. The fact is that retaining a customer is between 5 to 25% or times less expensive than acquiring a new. It's a massive number, and it just proves that catering to existing customers, making them happy to retain them is critical. And that is why this topic is so relevant. So let's get to it. I will share 9 ideas on how you can increase customer retention, how you can work strategically with this initiative. The 9 ideas might not work wonders on their own. Some are complex, some are more simple. So what you need to do when you listen and also afterward is reflect on the ideas that might work for your travel business and apply them as part of a customer retention plan. I will go through these 9 ideas fairly quickly. Again, we have 30 minutes. But then after we have gone through them, we will dive into, okay, so what do you need to actually succeed with these initiatives? And then finally, Matt will dive into a few retention initiatives in more details to explain how existing customers do it today. Good, but let's get started. 1 second, I have to click through this. Good. The first one is to share your values loud and clear. So not only should your company have its own easily identifiable values, you need to share them with your customers. Because when your customers understand and relate to your values, it will help them identify with you and feel connected. And that connection will help strengthen the bond. The second is to ask for feedback. Talk to your customers, check in with them on a regular basis, and learn from that feedback. That means, when is it done? Who should do it? How do you collect response, and how do you act on it? You need to kind of have that process in order, because if you don't have a process for it, it will not help your travel business perform better and deliver better experiences, which is critical to retain customers. So ask for feedback, but have a process for it. The third idea is to build lasting trust. It sounds easy maybe, but trust takes time and has to be earned. You have to be consistent, you have to be honest, and you have to be transparent. The thing is, if you don't have the right insights on a customer, it can be difficult to build this lasting trust. It can be difficult to be transparent. Because without insights, you're bound to spend a lot of time searching for the right answer. Time you might not have, which pushes you to sometimes provide a standard reply that might not be sufficient. But with insights, you can always answer truthfully because you know the customer's agreement in details. Everybody in the organization might know it if you have insights. And you have insights on each traveler to assist them personally. So that's the third initiative. The fourth is to strengthen your communication, or to structure your communication, sorry. So stay in touch. There are so many things that you can help your corporate customers with during a year. It could be emails, reminding your customers on all the added services you offer that they do not take advantage of today. Or it could be reminders that it is time to benefit from the data you collect on their behalf. You know your business best. So these are just examples, but the point is that structure will help you deliver value and be perceived as a true partner long after you have closed the initial deal. Next one. You all know gamification. We see it in lots of leisure-related activities. We see it with our in retail. We see it in beauty, in shopping. There's so many companies using gamification, but it is not only for B2C. TMCs can use gamification to engage corporate travelers with contests and surveys. You could use it to enhance the user experience, guiding the user through your processes. But you could also use it to help your customers add a cost-saving incentive to their employees with points, badges, and rewards for employees who choose the more affordable or environmentally friendly option. As an added bonus, gamification can actually help you collect valuable data about individual travelers that you can use in your communications. The next idea is to form a community around your offering. So why not enable your customers to educate themselves, share best practices, tips and tricks, and so on in a secure forum? Your customers are rarely competitors, so why not let them benefit from an active community of like-minded people where they can discuss ESG concerns, how to keep travel costs down, how to utilize gamification services, and so on. You can be with them every step of the way as the expert, helping and guiding them and keeping your customers close. I know it's many ideas. I know I kind of rushed through them. We just want to make sure that we present the ideas before we dive into how you can actually work with them. So let's see if I can find the next. There we go. The seventh initiative you could implement is to utilize subscriptions. Offering a subscription-based solution is a great way to keep your customers engaged. The good news is that you don't necessarily have to change your business model to utilize subscriptions. In fact, you don't need to charge a fee for your subscription model to gain that customer loyalty, which is so critical to retain your customers. Providing benefits in the form of exclusive content and events is also a way to leverage this approach in a more simple way. The eighth idea is to leverage personalization. So provide a personalized customer experience. We looked at some statistics, and according to e-consultancy, 80% of companies reported seeing a lift in customer loyalty and relationships since implementing personalization. This can be done in many ways, whether you choose to go big and customize your entire offering for a customer or just make small adjustments to meet your customer's needs. That is up to you. But personalization matters to the overall customer experience and thus to the success of your long-term collaboration. There's many ways to do it. The ninth idea that we'd like to present to you is to build a customer retention program. This is a bit more complex and a bit more comprehensive. The previous 8 ideas could potentially be part of a structured customer program. What you choose to add to it should depend, of course, on your customers, but also on your business, because you need to find initiatives that fit your size and the time you are able to dedicate to your customer retention program. We've added a few more examples here. A customer retention program could include any of the 8 we have just been through, but it could also include an onboarding program, which we know is relevant to TMCs in particular. We know that from some of our customers already. It could be a customer loyalty program. It could be a customer advisory board. Take your best customers, the most worthy or valuable customers, and put them into an advisory board. Let them help you be better. But it could also be customer retention journeys. The examples here are a little more complex than the previous ones. Some are more easy to go do right now, and some would need some more work. Mats will take a deeper dive into a few of these in just a second to show you these initiatives. But first, let's try the next slide. So now you have the 9 initiatives that you could go and implement. It's time to kind of look at, okay, so what do you actually need to succeed? And on that note, I will stop sharing and pass it on to Mats.
Thank you. Just going to share my screen and hope that you are able to see it now.
Looks good.
Looks good. Okay, so my responsibility at Travel Liberation Engage is kind of helping our clients within the corporate industry and the TMCs to kind of make sure that they have a good system for retention, a good system for sales and marketing and all that to kind of help that customer loyalty become a thing. So for that, I'm working within the CRM department. And of course, I believe that CRM is very important in order to gain that customer retention and loyalty that will help your business grow its revenue and so on. So I don't know how many of you are working with CRM already. Perhaps some of you are, perhaps some of you don't. But I'm going to focus a bit on some of the journeys that you can do to kind of increase your customer retention. And just for, overall purposes, I'm going to describe what we are seeing being used in the CRM system and what departments are using it. So on the left-hand side, it's actually an example of how you can use it. So for sales management, we see a lot of the TMCs today use it for lead management, pipeline management. It's very often focused on getting new clients into your fold, making sure that you're winning new clients, that you're replying to new leads, getting new customers. But actually, it can also be used for marketing campaigns. I know a lot of the clients that I talk to don't use it for marketing campaigns today, and they're asking me, well, how should we use marketing? It's not necessarily the easiest way to get new corporate clients into the fold. But perhaps you can use it for retention. I'm going to talk a bit about that during the next couple of minutes. But also we see it being used for customer service management, handling ticket requests and, making sure that whenever a client has some issues or going on a trip, that they can actually, via the CRM, text message your travel agents and they can get a response quickly. But that's just in overall terms. Today, I'm going to focus on 3 elements that we see can benefit you quite efficiently and quickly if you implement a CRM system. So the first one I'm going to focus a bit about on today is TMC onboarding flows. I actually talk to a lot of CEOs and CSOs, CMOs, and they're often saying to me that they have a good sales process, good lead management, get new clients into the fold, but then once expecting a lot of trips per year, they actually see after a year that, okay, we didn't get as many trips as we expected. And the issue is very often within the onboarding flow. So we have a onboarding flow that we have implemented for many companies to kind of help them with this issue and challenge. Then, as a second step, I'm going to focus a bit on the loyalty programs, both on company and employee level, and how you can use the CRM system to kind of push out messages and benefits and so forth, to kind of get that customer loyalty. And then last but not least, I'm going to focus a bit on the retention journeys and give you some structured ideas of how to use marketing journeys to build a retention. So for the onboarding program, as I said just before, I very often talk to the management, and they often stating that the onboarding flow can be an issue. And to kind of help that issue and challenge, we have created a structured and automated onboarding flow. So what you see on the screenshot is actually taken from a CRM system. So typically your sales department are working with a lead, they're working with the opportunities and the sales pipeline. And then once they have gone through contract negotiations, they probably have won the case. And now you have to push it out to the operations team and the travel agents team. And that can't be some lack of information sharing. So we have created an onboarding flow that we are helping our TMCs working with. So the example, you can actually, and we often recommend having a structured and automated process to this, where you can kind of store some general information, the travel services, the programs that the company is having, and some different activities in the onboarding flow to make sure that you have a structured and best practice flow. And for instance, if you're looking at a travel service, we often see that it's very beneficial that you, as part of the onboarding flow, are focusing, okay, which travel services does this company have and what have you sold to them in the sales process? It could be mobile messenger, 24/7 assistant, self-booking, carbon emission reporting. There can be different services that your TMC is providing today. But what is very important is to kind of structure this from the very beginning, because once you have it structured in your CRM system, you have the data, you can also use it for the customer service department, but also for marketing segmentation when you have to promote different topics. Then also, if you go down to the programs that can be stored, company programs and contact programs. And we very often recommend doing this in the initial get-go, because once you have that as part of a structured onboarding flow, you get to know the company programs. Okay, which airlines are they traveling with? Which car rental companies are they using? Which hotels are they using? So a lot of the times the companies that we are working with want to have like a 360 view of the customers. So if you have this part of an onboarding flow, you can get the information into the CRM quite quickly. And then making sure that once your travel agents are working with the clients, they have all information about the clients from the very get-go, so they don't make any mistakes, but can serve the clients in the best way possible from the very get-go. Then also, what we often see can be a struggle for many TMCs around the globe is having a best practice approach to it. So within, the CRM system, we often recommend having a structured and automated approach to it, that you have tasks and activities, meetings, everything structured via your best practice. It could be, a kickoff meeting, it could be corporate travel policy meeting, it could be a meeting about travel policies. But if you structure this from the very like every case that you're working with, you can always use this for best practices. And then also make sure to assign tasks for your agents. So it could be a task saying that you have to migrate traveler profiles, you have to update the loyalty programs, you have to update the corporate policies. So if you have kind of set this off initially, you can push it out from every client that the sales are closing. So you make sure that each activity is being set up automatically, and that your operations team have the best cards on their hand to kind of provide a good onboarding flow. But also part of the onboarding flow is kind of making sure that you have all data about your corporate client and about the employees from the initial get-go. So as you see on the screenshots I have taken for this webinar, we very often recommend storing traveler profiles within the CRM system. This can, of course, be integrated with different GDS systems like Amadeus, Sabre, and Travelport, but also OBT systems. So if you have a preferred OBT, you can kind of synchronize the traveler profiles. But part of the onboarding process is very important to make sure that all these preferences are being stored in the CRM system so that your travel agents can chat and know everything about the customers that you're having in as part of your program. I've also provided, some booking information. We very often recommend that you, from the very initial get-go, ensure to integrate the booking information. So once you start, booking different trips for the employees, you make sure that this is stored under the account, but also under the contact, kind of to make sure that you know as much about the client and the employee, but also to kind of being able to use this booking data for analysis, but also segmentation purposes, so you can market new product offerings and destination and so forth. And also travel policies. I know that a lot of TMCs are working with travel policies. This is also something that we recommend storing in the CRM system so that whenever an employee is calling your company via phone, you can see in the system, okay, this employee is on this level in the company and can have these benefits to it. So this is just suggestions and ideas for what you can store in the CRM system. And we see if you have a structured approach for this, you will gain a lot of value and customer retention from the very get-go. Yes. And for the second recommendation for your inspiration today, I have and will focus a bit on loyalty programs. Of course, loyalty programs are being used in different industries, but I have looked a bit into how it can be used and how it is used by the TMCs that we are working with today. So again, my point of departure is the CRM system. I'm helping our clients with the CRM. So once we have, the contact information in our CRM system, we know the preferences, we know the travel orders, we know the travel documents, but we can also make sure to kind of store the loyalty programs. It could be both for airline, car rentals, hotels, and so forth, but also a loyalty member program. So if you want to provide some additional value to your clients and the employees, we very often recommend and we see good benefits of providing some additional offers. It could be, for private leisure. It could be benefits for restaurants or hotels or unique experiences. And typically what you do is that you, in the CRM system, can kind of note that they're part of this program. They can get these benefits. So what is actually enabled is that you can create segmentation and marketing campaigns based on the status in the loyalty program. And, for the accounts also, we very often recommend that you store these loyalty programs for the companies, but also the contacts. It can be, for the airlines and the car rentals, hotels, and rails. And this provides you the opportunity to both, integrate it with your booking tool, but also service your clients once they're calling in so that, okay, they have these benefits and they have these airlines that they can travel with. And of course, I'm going to talk a bit about customer retention journeys now, and this is mainly for the marketing, but hope that it kind of resonates with you. I know that a lot of the TMCs that we are working with today don't have a very, very big focus on marketing automated campaigns, but we see a huge benefit to it. So I provided some ideas for it today. And the whole idea is using all the data that you have within the CRM system, the preferences, the booking history, the contact details, if they are traveling, leisure also with your company. All these different details are stored in this CRM system and can be used for segmentation. So our whole idea to kind of make sure that you get that customer retention and brand loyalty is to create some targeted and tailored marketing campaigns that can kind of help you increase your retention and loyalty, but also to increase the revenue. So for instance, I have 4 examples today that we have implemented for some of our clients. One could be price alerts. So if you by any means have, the booking data from your customers within the CRM system. You can see, okay, they have been traveling to a specific conference in July, a specific conference in July, and perhaps also something in December. So based on that, you can actually provide the benefit of sending automated flows via an price alert, making sure that you communicate at least and tell the clients, okay, there are some good prices coming up for your conference this year. Perhaps it's time to book with us now. A second one could also be to offer seasonal offerings. So typically, you have the corporate clients going on summer camps, on winter New Year's parties and such. So making sure that this is set up in campaigns can kind of help you promote different options for the summer events and winter events. And we really recommend doing that. And also in the CRM system, it's also possible to segment via industry. So imagine that you are working with a lot of tech clients. You want to segment this by tech, and then have your marketing automation tool promote different tech-related events and conferences, and then making sure that you're always providing some valuable information to your clients, so they're kind of staying on top of what's happening in the industry and making sure that they want to book with you. It could also be if you're working with a lot of companies in the medical industry, of course. You could see if there's any medical conventions. You can set that up to be sent out automatically based on the industry segment that you have in the CRM system. And last but not least, I've also seen that a lot of the clients that we are working with within the TMC space are using their booking information and using AI and data analysts to kind of make sure that you analyze the data, booking data, and based on trends within that data, you can recommend new hotels and new restaurant visits or new conferences and so forth. But of course, it can be very difficult to set up if you're not doing this today. But at least we see that the companies that we are working with are increasing their revenue when they are, again and again communicating and staying in touch with the clients on a good basis. And just, I know we're short on time now, we have 3 minutes left. We have kind of made a little touch point journey that you can use. So it's just a suggestion on how you can use your CRM system and marketing automation and customer service tools to kind of communicate with your corporate clients and the employees on different phases. They could be post consent, pre-travel, during your travel, and post-travel. And it's just, an ongoing process that you can use and make sure that you're always sending out different materials, always sending out inspiration and new offers, and making sure that you're staying in touch with your clients. And then last, I know I've been talking a lot now and it's going a little bit fast probably, but we see if you want to have, an efficient retention program and strategy, you have to store some data. And we have provided, some examples of some of the data that you can store within the CRM system. It could be contact history, survey responses, buying history, travel history, membership status. All these different elements that you can kind of collect data on should be stored in the CRM system, because then you can use it whenever you are chatting to your clients, whenever the clients are calling, and whenever you're communicating with them, because then you can have that 360-degree view of your clients and make a very, very good customer service and make sure that they are retaining with you again and again. Christina, I don't have anything more to say right now. I think we are by the end of the meeting, but hope that it made sense in some way, even though it's quite fast today.
Yeah, if you could just push to the next slide, Matt, then we can round it off. Because I know it has been a lot of information in a short amount of time, but hopefully it is, or our hope at least, is that you have found some inspiration for how you can work with customer retention. The thing is, customer retention is not, there's no one size fits all. It has to be tailored to your customers, but also to your company. It's an ongoing process across departments and across the customer journey. So it's not something you only work with at the end after you have signed a contract. You have to kind of think customer retention as keeping your customers close. What happens in many places is that once you have signed a deal, once they are onboarded, it kind of goes into a normal standard flow. But instead of just focusing solely on acquiring new customers, try to focus on retaining the ones you have. Add that excitement to their journey once they are a valued client. Keep them close. That is what customer retention is all about. We hope that you have found some inspiration in the 9 examples. I will make sure to send them to all of you so you can work with them. We don't have time for questions. I'm really sorry about that. It is 9:30, so we are out of time. But please send us an email if you have any questions or would like to talk. After all, we are a CRM provider. We do have the means to help you with your insights if you want help. On that note, we would just like to thank you for your time. It has been a pleasure, and have a great day, all of you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.